Well, isn't this fascinating? Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to start real quick and say we have made it to over 81 episodes, right? I will probably, never stop public speaking. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you, to everyone that's been tuning in to these episodes. We are well on our way. We are going to keep going at it. Okay, so the conversation today is actually around personal initiative, and this is a magnificent topic because at the end of the day, you can have all the mentors, you can have all the books, you can have all the right sauce that you need to cook the recipe, but if you lack personal initiative to actually go out there and put into action what you already know, right? There's no other way around it. You gotta start developing personal initiative to start making the progress needed. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. We are going to talk about, I think, hopefully I can get to the 31 points that make up personal initiative. Okay, and I really want you to start evaluating yourself on these points, right? Evaluate yourself, how well am I at each one of these points? Because, at the end of the day, one of the great things about what I'm teaching is it all comes down to self-evaluation, right? We need to get better, right? Better is a great word. There's always room for improvement, right? And in some of these 31 areas, maybe you got it in some, but there's other areas where maybe you just don't got it. Okay, so we're going to start working on that, right? We got to start. You can't grow what you can't measure. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so number one is the starting point, right? It's definiteness of purpose, right? How are you possibly going to have personal initiative? How are you possibly going to have a motive to go out there and go do something without having a purpose, without having the end goal in mind, right? The reason most people lack personal initiative, they lack that drive to get up and go out there and do something, is because they simply don't have their definite major purpose in play. They don't know what they want, and therefore, right, there's no reason to develop that initiative to go out there and get it, right? So like I say all the time, it all starts with having a definite major purpose and getting crystal clear on it. All right, so that's number one. And I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 100, right? How well established is your definite major purpose? Now, number two is adequate motive. Where we need to figure out, what is driving us, right? Napoleon Hill says that there's 9 major motives. And I may not be able to explain them off the top of my head, but understand, right? There's a reason that you want what you want. It's deeper than just wanting the fancy house, just wanting the nice cars, right? There's a serious motive behind all of that. And we got to get down to the core, right? What is your personal motive for all these things that you want, right? And when you get crystal clear on these motives, when you get crystal clear on what really drives you, what you truly want, what you value most in life, right? All of a sudden, developing that personal initiative to go out there and go get it, to actually make some big moves, is going to start kicking into gear. All right, so that's adequate motive. Now, number 3 is a mastermind alliance, right? And I want you to understand, if you don't have yet a mastermind alliance, that's okay, right? Even if you have to put a 0 down for this part of the speech, it is what it is, right? We've all been there where we felt like we were alone. But I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely essential to have a mastermind alliance. And it's okay if you don't have it now, right? The next time that you evaluate yourself and you go through, do I have a mastermind alliance? At least next time, hopefully you will have it, right? But a mastermind alliance is absolutely essential to develop an initiative, because you know that you have a place to. All right, we're back. Let's say that, your plan didn't execute as you thought it would, right? There's, in life, in business, right, there's a lot of unexpected things happening. So having a mastermind alliance to fall back on when, let's say, you need your batteries recharged so that you can go back out there, go do the thing that most people are scared to do, right? That's where it absolutely comes in handy, right? Because let's face it, you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to need to talk to people, right? And doing this all by yourself, right? When it feels like the whole world is against you, can be quite discouraging. So having that mastermind alliance that you can fall back on is absolutely going to help you. And it's going to help you, not only out in many other ways, but especially when it comes to personal initiative. You're going to go out there, you're going to do the thing, and then you're going to come back to your mastermind alliance and be like, yo, this is what happened. This is the results I got. Can you guys help me out and look at it from a new light? Okay, so that's the mastermind. Number 4 is this. It's self-reliance, right? Are you able to rely on yourself? And I think a big thing of this comes down to, do you have, your definite major purpose in play? And are you able to rely on yourself that you're going to do the things that you say you're going to do, right? If you commit to something, if you commit to a decision, are you willing to stick it through, even when the feeling of making that decision fades, right? Because let's face it, right? If you can't trust yourself, how are other people going to trust you? Right? If you cannot trust yourself, how are people going to trust that it's worth doing business with you? Right? It comes down. You got to start, getting those little wins under your belt. Right? Waking up at 5 a.m. Right? Doing what you said you were going to do on your morning routine, etc. Right? And it's those little things that help you start developing this self-reliance. I can trust myself to go out of my way and do something new. Okay? That's number 4. Number 5 is this, right? How well would you rate yourself in terms of self-discipline? And let me define what self-discipline is, right? Bob Proctor says that self-discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow through on it. So how well would you rate yourself on your ability to follow through on your decisions, to follow through on your daily intentions, to follow through on what you got to do, right? If it means, developing the discipline to go to the gym 5 times a week, right? I know that seems like a lot, but let's face it, get the discipline down. It's a lot until it's not, right? You work on the self-discipline to go do the thing that you don't really want to do. I'm telling you, the rewards are going to be out there, right? So that's self-discipline. That is a whole other conversation in itself. And I'm actually going to dive into that, I think, this week. Number 6 is this. It's persistence, right? There's something about that word persistence that allows you to keep going, to develop the initiative to keep going, right? Having that persistence under your belt, it cultivates the state of mind that, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do what I got to do. Even if I'm not getting paid for it right away, even if I get knocked down, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to keep going, right? Having that persistence is absolutely key, right? How persistent are you, right? How persistent are you? Have you conformed to what the masses are trying to tell you to do, or are you gonna keep going? Okay. Number 7 is this. It's imagination, right? It's imagination, right? The person that has a vivid imagination, that has a creative vision for themselves, is gonna have ways to go out there and actually follow through on them more, right? If you have a much more clear vision through your imagination, right? If you have a imagination that truly believes, what you want to do is possible, right? You're going to end up following through and being like, you know what, screw it. What I want is so awesome. I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to have the initiative to go out there and do it. And I'm going to take the action. And I am going to make this vision a reality. All right. Number 8 is this. Number 8 is decision making, right? How well are you at making decisions? Do you make decisions fast? And do you change those decisions slowly? Or do you make decisions slowly, and then when you finally do come to a decision, you're flip-flopping and changing it up? Because, the ability to make fast decisions and stick with them is absolutely going to help you when it comes to having the initiative to just take the action, to just go out there and do it. All right? Number 9, opinions based on facts. Basing your opinions on facts, right? Do you just throw out loose opinions that you haven't even really had time to think about, that you have no facts to back those up? Or you just throwing them out there, right? And what is that doing, right? It's just showing other people what your cards really are. It's just showing people that, man, this person really doesn't think. They just say all this stuff, right? They are not really thinking, right? So do you base your opinions on facts? And why is this important? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to personal initiative, right, if you're just making opinions on something without the facts, right, maybe something sounds to most people like it's not a good business model, not a good idea, right? And you just throw this loose opinion, oh, that's stupid, that'll never work. But maybe if you check the facts and you see, people are actually winning doing this. A lot of people, as a matter of fact, are winning doing this. It's just like, are you willing to go out there and follow through on the plan and really commit to it, right? Because all of a sudden, you'll realize, man, maybe my opinion on it was wrong at first, but now I'm going to develop, an opinion based on facts, and you know what? I'm going to give this opportunity a good shot, right? That's pretty important. Okay, number 10, enthusiasm. How enthusiastic are you about going after it? Are you about getting the bag, right? Do you have this monotone tonality? Oh, that would be nice, right? There's nothing special that's going to drive you into action about that. No, it comes down to being enthusiastic as hell. You want to give your prospects initiative. You want to make people buy with you. Well, give them a reason to. Tell them, when you're telling them your product or your service, how enthusiastic are you about it? Because that enthusiasm is going to get them to start making some moves, to start making some definitive decisions, right? Enthusiasm. How well is your developed enthusiasm? Number 11, a sense of justice. A sense of justice, right? Deep down in your core, do you know that what you want is right? Do you realize that, whatever your plan is it a just plan? Are you going after this plan knowing that, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to serve so many people with this plan. I'm going to help so many people with this plan. And yes, I will be rewarded in abundance for doing so. But at the end of the day, do I have the justice? Is what you want just and right? Okay, number 12 is tolerance. And what I mean by tolerance is, are you open-minded? Are you open-minded to new ideas, to new possibilities, to new opportunities, right? How well are you open to these new ideas? And maybe most people will say, you know what, of course I'm open to ideas. And maybe you're tolerant with ideas that are in line with the ones that you have already. Maybe they're in line with your prejudices. But are you open to conflicting viewpoints, right? Even if it comes from someone who doesn't have the same background as you, doesn't have the same skin color as you, doesn't have the same social economics as you, are you still at least open to what they have to say? Right? Because I think it's really important. You can learn something new from everyone that you come across. All right. Number 13, are you willing to go above and beyond? Are you willing to do more than you are paid for? Right? Doing more than you are paid for. Are you willing to go the extra mile? I just gave a conversation on going the extra mile, but are you willing to, how willing are you to put in the work now? Even if you're not getting the results now, even if you're not getting paid now, but are you willing to continue to put in the work every single day until finally it does come true? Because it will. It's just going to require you to go the extra mile. Number 14 is tactfulness. Tactfulness, right? How well do you ask for help? Right? This is something that Andrew Carnegie used to do, right? He would never just command people around. He would never just say, you know what, you go do this, you shine my shoes, you go do that, right? He would never command them around, right? But what he would do is he would be like, hey, sir, would you mind, helping me shine my shoes? Would you mind helping me with this one process of the business? Would you be open to at least doing this for me? Right? How do you deliver your words? How tactful are you in your speech, in your delivery? Because when it comes down to it, maybe they're going to have to have some help, have some people really help you out in these situations. So how tactful are you at asking for that help? Or are you just commanding and having no regards to other people's feelings? All right. Number 15 is listening. How well can you listen? And why is this important to personal initiative? Because if you can listen intensely and listen to people that have the results that you want, if you can truly listen and understand what they are saying, you're going to have the drive to go out and do what they tell you to do. Now, if you hire a mentor or a coach and they have the sauce, they have the game plan, but you're not willing to truly listen to them and follow their advice, the advice that you're actually paying for, that's not going to help you out with having the initiative to go out there and go get it. All right. Number 16, observation. Observation, right? How well are you at observing your own results every single day? How well can you observe? Okay, this is, where I went wrong in my day. This is where I could improve in my day. This is the tool, the skill, the talent or resource that I need in my day tomorrow. How well are you at? How well are you at observing what's going on in your life? Or are you just absolutely unaware of what's going on around you? How the actions that you take each day are directly impacting the results that you get each day, each week, each month, each year, right? How observant are you? Number 17 is determination, right? Do you have it in you? Do you have the dog in you to say, you know what? I may not know how it's going to get done, but I know who I am. I am determined. I know I will find a way to get it done, right? How self-determined are you? Number 18 is the capacity to stand criticism without resentment, right? Can you take feedback? Can you take good, constructive feedback? Because if you can't, then how are you going to grow? How are you going to grow? How are you going to have other people, help you look at things from a new perspective if you can't take what they have to say, if you can't take what they offer to say, right? Constructive, being able to stand criticism. You're going to get ridiculed. If you decide that you are going to go out of your way and do something that most people don't do, you're going to get some criticism for it. And are you able to have such a strong foundation built that it doesn't get to you, that you don't care what they say because you know you are determined. You know you have your definite major purpose. You know you have the foundation of what you truly want in this world, and you're able to push all that other nonsense to the side. Okay, so I guess with that being said, I'm going to actually continue this conversation again tomorrow, right? Talking about personal initiative, because when it comes down to it, I want to stick to the time, and there's still a lot more to talk about, right? We got 31 principles total for personal initiative. And I really want you, today I talked about just like 1 through, I think it was 20, in terms of personal initiative, right? How this really impacts you taking the action, right? So I really want you to rate yourself on these key areas, because that, you're going to see all of a sudden, where can I improve? Where can I get better? And then all of a sudden you start treating this systematically. You're going to look at yourself a year from now and be like, man, I don't even recognize the person that I used to be, because I systematically measured myself. I grew, and I did it in certain categories that I knew I needed to improve. All right. So that's the conversation today. Personal initiative. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really love the flames during this conversation. So without further ado, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow continuing this conversation, wrapping up personal initiative, and I'll leave you with this. Until we meet again in time and space, bye everybody for now.